Look, I know, it has been a minute since I have posted on the channel. Some general IRL issues on top of some health issues I've been going through have caused me to kind of ghost the channel longer than I ever have. And with this video, we are getting back on track. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a different video than what I usually do for the channel. This is going to be kind of a rant video about the state of the finals. Now, I don't want to make a video that is just about being negative about the game because, to be honest, it is some of the most fun I've had with FPS games in the past couple of years. But there's also some major issues that have been plaguing the game since its launch and even before that in betas that seems like they just haven't been ever resolved. And mainly that comes all the way down to balance. I saw this photo on Twitter a few days ago that really got me kind of thinking about what the future holds for this game. And to be honest, it really isn't looking that good at the moment. I know Steam isn't the entire player base for any of these games, but if you just take a look at some of the general graph comparisons with the current state of the finals 2 months in as of this video compared to other games like Halo Infinite that launched in a fairly similar state, things honestly just don't look that good for the game right now. The game has been dropping in player count every single week, which is kind of sad to see, but to me, I can kind of see why. Now, I'll be honest, I've had things going on in my personal life that have been affecting my ability to get on and stream and make videos, but that's also been in combination with the fact that I just don't really feel like the game is in as good of a state as it should be 2 months in. I held some opinions that I think a lot of people find a little unpopular, but to be honest, I just want to get those out here because I believe that balance is the main reason that this game's player count is dropping rapidly. Now, say what you will about a game being competitive, a game does not need to be competitive in order to be fun, and that's an approach that the developers themselves have even said they didn't want to take. They didn't want this game to be extremely competitive. They wanted it to be fun first. But I think a big problem with the approach that they're taking is they are confusing competitive integrity and balance, and it seems like they kind of consider the two things to be the same thing, and I don't believe that's the case. Fun within an FPS like the finals always comes down to balance. If there is one thing that is more broken than everything else, it leaves everything else feeling unenjoyable. And so for people that don't want to pursue that playstyle, they're left just having no fun. I'll give credit to the devs. They have been pushing out a lot of balance patches over the past 2 months, but the problem that I am seeing is that every single one of these balance patches seems to be something where they are trying to go around the issue rather than taking it head on and addressing what it is. And it seems the main reason for that is there are things that they've put in the game, such as the nuke meta, such as the recon ability for the medium class. These abilities and metas that have completely saturated the game at this point only 2 months in because of how good they are. And the developers have put out multiple balance patches trying to nerf it, but instead of taking the issues head on, addressing that they're broken, and either completely fixing them or getting rid of them entirely, they keep going around it, and it has just made for an unenjoyable experience. For something like the nuke meta, the only way that that was ever going to be put into a balanced state was to get rid of it entirely. There was no way that they were ever going to balance having C4 strapped to something and thrown that wouldn't either A, make the C4 completely useless, or B, leave the C4 being overpowered with the nuke meta. Now, they have nerfed it multiple times, but as we've seen, these nerfs haven't really gotten rid of the meta, they've only slightly adjusted it. So for the heavy class, for example, you can still nuke meta to this day. All you have to do is make sure that you pick up a red canister over anything else. The obvious fix for something like that was just to force the C4s to not attach to objects that are picked up. But instead of addressing that issue head on, they kept going around it, trying to leave that playstyle in the game when it was never something that was ever going to be fun for the receiving end. Similarly, with something like the recon senses on medium class, which blows my mind that this exists, it is quite literal wall hacks that they give you in-game. It is an in-game ability that the developers have given to people that would normally be banned in any other game. And as we have seen, there is literally no way that you can properly balance having cheats as an ability. Their recent patch, they put in a system that tells you when you're being seen by the wall hacks, but the only thing that that's done is leave your screen with this weird white aura around the sides 24/7 because every team is running recon senses. And once again, instead of addressing the issue head on and admitting they were never going to work and just getting rid of them entirely and making a new ability, they keep going around the issue trying to make it work, and it's never going to work. These balance patches aren't really doing anything to fix any of the current metas that are occurring. Now, I understand balance is a tricky issue and you don't want to nerf something too much, but things like that are just so blatantly broken and aren't really ever going to work properly without either being completely useless or completely overpowered are things that, in my opinion, should be taken the route of of getting rid of it. So for a lot of players, myself included, a lot of people are leaving the game not because they necessarily don't enjoy it, but because balance right now just isn't that fun to play. When the game initially launched, similarly to other FPS games, people didn't know what the meta was, so everyone was having fun playing around with everything. But now that that hard meta has been found, it's hard to get into a game where you can actually have some fun with people that aren't just running the most broken options. Things like the defibs that completely break a 3-on-3 scenario, which because of how powerful it is and how little they've done to actually address the issue head on, triple medium stacks are now one of the most effective options for teams to play. I think we can all agree the most balanced way that this game can function is if the best stack is one that is running one of each class. And right now, that's just not the case. Most lobbies that you go into, the people that are trying to win are either running 2 mediums and a heavy or all 3 mediums, because the medium just has everything you could want. They have the best guns, they have a good amount of HP, they have instant revives that have basically 0 counter currently, or at least anything consistent. And it just leaves a lot of fights feeling very unsatisfying because you will kill someone, and as soon as they go down, their teammate is right there reviving them, and suddenly the fight goes from a 1v1 that you won to a 2v1 and you're out of ammo. There are such obvious fixes for some of these issues, such as the recon senses just needing completely erased, or the defibs needing a longer recharge time, or a lower health pool for the instant revives. But instead of addressing these issues head on, they keep going around the issue, and it's just been super frustrating as someone that actually does love the core gameplay to see that all of these major issues that are occurring in the meta just aren't really having anything done about it. So that's why I think we're seeing such a drastic decrease in the player count week by week. Now, me personally, I'm rooting for the game. I'm not done making finals content, but I'm not just gonna stick to finals content. I've never been the type of person that can stick to one game and one game only. But right now, I'll be honest, things are looking pretty bleak for the game. I hope the devs can turn it around, because I think the core gameplay, when you take out the balance issues, is actually some of the most fun that you can have with FPS games on the market right now, because your other options include some of the most sweaty, annoying FPS experiences that you can imagine. And if it's not that, then it's games full of cheaters. And so I think the finals holds this unique opportunity to push its way into the market and grow, but I don't see that happening if they keep going the way that they have with their balance patches. Now, with all that out of the way, I just want to say thank you guys for the support. I know I've been kind of absent the past few weeks, and that's completely on me. I'm looking to get back on track here, but just know it's not just going to be finals content. I love the finals, but I just love gaming in general, so I have a hard time sticking to just one game. I've really enjoyed playing the game over the past couple of months, but there are some other games that have been sitting in my library that I would love to play and make some videos on right now. Anyways, hopefully this rant video didn't drag on too long. I'm not exactly sure how long this is going to end up at, but if you did watch to the end, I appreciate it. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching and have a good one.